Okay, I think we look ready to talk about it, right? Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, I'm excited. Are you excited? All right. Welcome to Education Talk, right here on Life, Mood, and Reality podcast. And this is the heartbeat, really, of when we talk about curriculum for the students. I'm privileged to be your host, Mr. Ejaro, and today we step into a quiet but growing storm in our classroom, our homes, and in the very minds of our students. This episode is titled Scrolling Through the Silence. Scrolling through the silence when screen steals our student. It's hard to swallow, but it's true. Scrolling through the silence when screen steals our student. Because sometimes it's not drugs, it's not alcohol, it's the blue light at 2 a.m., the endless scroll, the dopamine hit for one more like. Today we're talking about digital addiction and how it's shaping the way students learn, feel, and live. It starts small. It starts small. A quick check of TikTok, a few minutes on Instagram, but then it becomes compulsive. 5 minutes turn into 5 hours. Notification becomes background noise in class. Homework is pushed off. Focus disappears. Sleep becomes fragmented. And for many students, the screen becomes a safe place. A friend, a distraction, an escape from judgment, comparison, fear, and even boredom. But over time, that escape becomes a cage. One student once told me, he said, "Hey Joe, I can't stop schooling even when I know I should. I feel empty when I'm not online." She's from the UK. He said, "Hello, Mr. Joe. I can't stop schooling. Even when I know I should, I feel empty when I'm not online. When I'm not online." That's not just a habit. That's dependency. I'm so emotional right now, because these are things you don't see often on YouTube, talked about in classrooms. But we do that here in Education Talk. Let's talk about the hidden cost of being always online. Let's talk about what this addiction costs students. The first one I want to talk about is academic performance drops. It's going to drop. Academic performance drops. Because attention is fractured. The attention is fractured. The attention you should give to your studies, you're giving it online. You're giving it to the socials. You're giving it to this online gaming. I mean, it's going to drop. You can't eat your cake and have it. It's going to drop. The next one is reading stamina shrinks. Because short form content trains the brain to skip, not think. So you don't have that reading stamina to go on and on and on and on and on, because we're used to these shorts that everything looks like 2 minutes. So if it's more than 2 minutes, it's more than 3 minutes, you're losing me. You're losing me in this. You're losing me in this. The third one is mental health declines. Mental health declines. Anxiety, depression, comparison fatigue, and so on. And here's the most painful part. Students know it's affecting them, but they don't know how to stop. One of my young students told me, he said, I hate how I feel after hours on my phone, but it's the only thing that makes me feel connected. He said, I hate how I feel on my phone. She said, I hate how I feel after hours on my phone, but it's the only thing that makes me feel connected. The truth, they are more connected than ever, but more isolated than ever. They're scrolling through the silence of their own loneliness. They're scrolling through the silence of their own loneliness. You see, it's not just about laziness or bad habits. This platform are designed to be addictive. That's the whole idea. It's business. I mean, if you're not addictive to it, they don't get money, they don't get paid, they don't get the revenues that they expect to get, and they monetize it because they want you to be more involved on it. The algorithms are built to keep users engaged. TikTok is one of them. You keep going and going, you don't stop. Every like, every comment, every video, they are coded to release dopamine. It's not a fair fight. Students are fighting billion-dollar technology with teenage impulsive or impulse control. The brain gets rewired. Long-term focus becomes difficult. Silence becomes scary. You know, it's funny because I was having some conversation with some of my students, and the whole place got quiet. There was silence everywhere, and they were like, it's too quiet. They don't even like the silence. Silence becomes scary. Stillness becomes unbearable. And school, once a place to grow, now feels like an interrogation to their online life. So, what do we do? How do we reach students who are here but mentally locked out? Well, I can just talk about mine, and for other counselors and parents out there who can help out, we'll probably just put in the comment section on the show notes, and maybe we can help together. Well, so how do we reach them? why they're here but mentally locked out, I think the first thing is we don't shame them. We understand them. It's a digital world. You can't take it away from them. So we try to understand them. And number two is we teach them digital literacy. We don't say, oh, okay, this device is no. You teach them digital literacy. Not just the danger, but the brain science behind. They need to know that this is one space that when you get into, it can be addictive. They need to understand the cost and the consequences. So that guides their experience. We set boundaries that protect, not punish. There's login time, there's logout time. There's screen time, there's off screen time. It's not punishment. We model better habits. If we're always on our phones, how can we tell them not to be? I'm going to take that again. If we're always on our phones, how can we tell them not to be? It begins from us. I mean, there are parents who they're always on their phones. They don't even have time for their kids. And you want to teach them about boundaries? You want to teach them about better habits? I mean, parents are a mirror. They are the first model every child will go after. A child who's so engulfed with digital, I can tell you, from 50 to 90% is parents' fault. They're always on their phones. They don't have off time, or they barely have off time. And most of all, we create moments in the classroom that are more engaging than the screen. More engaging than the screen. That's not easy. It's not really easy, especially in this digital world, but it's necessary. And to the students who can put the phones down, to all the students who can put their phones down, I'm not here to blame you. I'm here to tell you something honest and loving. You're losing yourself in a world that was designed to distract you. Yeah. But you can take back your time. You can reclaim your focus. You can learn to sit in silence again and hear your own thought without fear. It starts with one small decision. Put the phone down. Look up. Come back to yourself. You were not created to be a content machine. You were born to think, to dream, to become. And trust me, there's a version of you that is more powerful than your online persona. So, let's look at some reflection on this episode. For one full evening, can you disconnect from your device and reconnect with your real life? For one full evening, can you disconnect from your device and reconnect with your real life? And this is just not just for the students, literally for everybody, because we're all with our devices. And I think for me, that is a challenge as well. To be less, of course, I need it for business, but just to create, that bit of a moment where evening time I can just set a time for myself. I know all my journals, everything is online, and I type, I write, but just a bit of disconnecting, and then you can always go back. I mean, for the adults, I mean, for the kids, I mean, this challenge is real for you. It's real for you. Write, think, rest. Just have a journal. One full evening, no phones, just your journal. You can always go back to check your assignments and everything. And should have a calendar of your assignments and know which is that. No teacher is going to give an emergency assignment and say it's going to be due the same day, right? So it's probably going to give you days to time to plan. And then ask yourself, who am I without the screen? So one full evening, can you disconnect from your device and reconnect with your real life? Get a physical journal. Write, think, rest. WTS, WTL. Write, think, rest. And then in your journal, ask yourself, who am I without the screen? The answer might change your life. That's it for today on Education Talk, right? Digital addiction is real, but so is real life. And when students find their way back to themselves, they begin to learn again, not just academically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Let's help them find their way. I'm Ejaro, and thank you for being here listening. Until next time, be present, be intentional, and remember, the best version of you isn't found on a screen. It's found in the silence. Bye for now.